Hello again. Last time we talked about what a must our list poem do. We're now going to move on to thinking about what do we need to include in our list poems to make them effective. This should be relatively straightforward, thinking about what we did yesterday. However, again, there is a question on your Google form. Can you pause this video again, and can you complete that question and then restart the video? Okay, I'll wait here. Off you go. Okay, right, let's move down and have a look. Well, basically, we're looking at these, aren't we? Nouns, adjectives, and verbs. So, we're thinking about, first of all, our noun. Now, before we start anything, and we'll talk about how you're going to do your planning in a little moment, you need to think about the nouns which we are going to base our distance learning events around, okay? So what are those nouns, things, those objects? Probably are going to be objects, I would guess, but might not always be the case. Might be a location as well. Adjectives, it might even be people as well. Adjectives, then, once we've got our nouns, that'll be our first column done, if you like. Then we'll move on to the adjective, which we will use to demonstrate our feelings about these nouns. They'll describe the nouns. And you'll be thinking about what would be good adjectives, which really get across the idea of your feelings about that object or describing that object, which will then help which will help your reader to understand your feelings. So you're describing the object. And again, it's all about telling that story as well. Finally, verbs, which we are going to use to add more impact and feeling to our distance learning events. So, for example, when we looked back up here, if I go all the way back up here, we have, for example, walking. I would say probably tottering or staggering might have been a better one to describe that for the tiny lamb. Okay, or for example, here you've got her suckling piglets. Okay, they help to describe what the piglets are doing. This describes the lamb. It just adds a little bit more of an image, it gives more of an idea to our reader exactly what's happening on the farm for that particular event. So, verbs being actions, of course, as well. So let's have a look at what you need to do next. So we know what we need to include. So how are we going to plan it? Well, we're going to go to a planning grid. Now, the planning grid, excuse me, a little bit of a cough. Your planning grid looks a little bit like this, okay? Not that, sorry, apologies. It looks a little bit like this. In fact, it doesn't look a bit like this. It looks exactly like this. And you have had one shared through Google Assignments. Now, if you remember your Google Assignments, when you go to your Google Classroom, okay, you'll have something that looks like this. And you need classwork. Go to classwork and you'll find down here one that says distance learning. What is the name of it? Distance Learning Poetry Planning Table. You just click on that, okay, whichever one it is. And then as you scroll down it, you will find it, open it up, okay. And basically that will allow you to write in there and edit. Don't forget to hand it in when you've finished, okay, because it does give you an option to hand it in when you've completed your planning table. So this is not actually on the Google form. This is separate, okay. You'll have to look in your classwork to find that. Now, first of all, I'm going to look at planning it. So I'm thinking about my event, right? So what I need an event which, for me, I think is important to my experience of distance learning. Now, what might that be? Well, I'm going to stop it here because I don't think I've got enough time left on this video to complete it. So what I want you to do is look at the next video and I'll show you what maybe some ideas of my own about my own experience of distance learning, and maybe they'll help you when it comes to planning your own distance learning poem, okay, as well, your list poem. All right, I'm going to stop it there. Thank you.